What is up, my peeps, my fragrance lovers out there on YouTube, everywhere? Thanks for joining me here on my channel, Steven Sturgill. I'll be your host for the next few minutes. Guys, I've been wanting to get my nose and grubby little paws on anything from imaginary authors, and I finally pulled the trigger on this Discovery set. I'm sure some of you out there have already bought it, no doubt. This is the cute little, looks like a book, obviously, from imaginary authors. It says here in bright, well, not maybe bright bold, but certainly bold font, unisex perfume. In case you're wondering, this is not meant to be either female or male specific. I'm not using the word gender fluidity that Ashton just used today in a in a video. I think I just used it, my bad. Anyways, you open her up. Obviously, this has a sleeve initially, which I had some difficulty getting off, but no big deal. Still a little congested from the wintry flu or head cold or whatever it is I got. So this comes with all these guys in here, and I've already taken out Slow Explosions, full disclosure, because that's what we're looking at specifically today. I'm not going to be looking at these individually today. It would take way too much time. And it would be rather unfair in the sense that I at least want to give an honest first impressions wearing of this, which I already have on me. It's going to be my scent of the day. And I just obviously wouldn't have the capacity to sit here and let each perfume dry down and then apply that on skin. Because I primarily, mostly only do skin scent reviews. I will sometimes do paper dabbings. I have done that before. And another discovery, I think, État de Libre Orange. But since then, I've thought about it, and I don't think those are overly valuable, because if you're not testing it on skin, you're not really qualified to speak on what the actual scent smells like on skin, if that makes sense. Anyways, obviously this comes with A City on Fire, Yesterday Haze, Memoirs of a Trespasser, Oh Unknown, Every Storm a Serenade, or Serenade, and Cape Heartache. And finally, the infamously famous and possibly overplayed, overhyped, I don't know yet, Saint Julep, which it seems like every frag reviewer out there and their buddy got on the Saint Julep train there for quite a while, along with other things like Rock Moss. Am I saying that right? Or you knew I'm talking about, the Scandinavian company with the whatever. That's a different company. Anyways, I digress. And on the back, it's got this little picture of, says a unique collection of 8 imaginary authors fragrance samples. ImaginaryAuthors.com, imaginary authors. Okay, enough of the box. And we'll get into those other scents hopefully at a future date. I've already sprayed this, and I'll do one more just for cinematic, dramatic purposes. Pretty good little sprayer for a little mini bottle, an ultra mini. Now, if you're a fan of Mark Robe's 08's channel out of Canada, shout out Mark, along with many other reviewers out there, great reviewers like Carlos Brooklyn Fragrance Lover, Stephen Redolescence, Max 40, so many I could possibly name. Big Beard Business, Maximilian Husler for Maximilian Must Know, Cuba Knows, shout out Cuba, hermano. Mr. I'm drawing a blank. I've got so many friends out there in Fragcom and so many channels. It's embarrassing. There's Mr. Oz. Check him out. I don't want to leave people out, so let me do a quick little search, and I can give you guys a few more. Okay, Gent Sense. That's Ashton, obviously. Who else? There Smells Good channel. Let's see, is that? That's with AC. an expatriate English, or he's from India now living in Britain. So he's sort of an expat Pat, if that makes any sense. Fantastic guy, fantastic reviewer, fantastic channel. Check out Smells Good. Smelling Great Fragrances with Sebastian out of California, I believe. Primarily travels the world. He goes to France, Paris a lot. Who else? There's the Sentient Man. Certainly there's a Gentleman's Journey. Let me not forget about Chad, my man. Thank you so much. Shout out Chad, Gentleman's Journey. Check him out if you haven't. Great guy, really good channel. There's Pulse Points. Who, brother, you need to drop more content. You have a fantastic channel, fantastic quality, fantastic sense. But you, in my humble estimation, need to be dropping a lot more videos, and you'll definitely blow your channel up and away. Check out Pulse Points, guys, and give him some love. There's Mr. Smelly, really fun guy out of England, out of London. Fantastic channel. He's really blown up in the last couple of years in particular. There's Dollars and Cents. There's Toiletarian, fun channel, fun guy. He's kind of slowed down ever so recently, and he's dropping some custom perfume a la Jeremy Fragrance on the market with a very limited run, and that's a very, very limited old-fashioned, I do mean very old-fashioned recipes that he dug up, I think in the Turkey region. So they're sort of old Arabic concoctions that really haven't seen the light of day for like more than 100 or 200, I think maybe 300 years old. Very cool. Check his channel out. Centrepreneur, also Canadian, fun channel, fun guy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean this to turn into a who's out there vid. See, there is, of course, there's Simply Put Scents with Imitsu. Shout out E, love your channel, love you, bro. Who else? What else? I know I'm forgetting something. He Smells Like Rome. Pretty good, very good channel actually. He puts his nose on a lot of really, really uber niche, high quality scents. Definitely covers some ground that not too many other reviewers are covering, at least not on a regular basis. Check him out. He Smells Like Rome. There's the Sentinel. Love his channel. I think he's out of Australia originally, if I'm not mistaken. If he is Kiwi, my apologies. I'm getting more of an Aussie vibe, but show him some love, please. Fantastic content, fantastic channel. Great reviews. I'm going to wrap it up here soon, guys. I'm just trying to find one other. There's Gavo. A little bit hit and miss because a lot of his reviews aren't in English, but he's starting to drop more in English. So check out Gavo, Gavo. Pretty cool channel. Definitely covers some really oddball or unique and hard to find fragrances. I know there's one more guy, Mr. I think Zaveda or Zavedo. I can never remember his name, which is embarrassing. Is it Mr. Zava or? I love his channel. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love this guy's channel. He covers major, super high dollar niche fragrances primarily. He'll occasionally do upper tier designer stuff. God, where is it? When you want to find something, you can't. You find everything else instead. Well, I think it's Mr. Zavas, maybe like 69 or something like that. Zavas, I think. God, why am I not finding this guy? If you want to find a really, really cool, there's also Coach Rob. Let me not forget Coach Rob. Coach Rob has been doing it a long, long time. I think quite a while at any rate. Check out Mountain Aromatics if you want to see a kind of offbeat, slightly nutty, very engaging perfumista who teaches the art of old-fashioned perfumery. So with some wild, crazy concoctions. Check his channel out at Mountain Aromatics. You'll have a blast just whiling away the minutes and hours, literally learning about perfumery that's sort of old-fashioned, but also very modern in a weird way. Anyways, yeah, I'm just not finding it. I'm gonna have to cut the time down here in a second and call it a day. There's also another channel, Fragrance Creators Association. Very, very cool material. Check that out. There's Chaos Fragrances. Show him some love. Check him out. There is certainly Lanier Smith. I love Lanier's channel. He covers so many forgotten scents from yesterday, along with some exquisite modern day niche and really upper tier, hard to find designer stuff that gets slept on or lost in the shuffle. Very cool older gentleman that does phenomenal, very sort of just quietly, romantically engaging, just a lovely vibe, fantastic channel. Please check him out. He's really blown up. I'm proud of you, Lanier. Keep it going. I remember just a couple of years ago, he had like way, way fewer subscribers, and now he's starting to take off. So that's phenomenal. Of course, there's Street Scents. He's been around doing it for quite a while. A couple others. There's Frag. Is it Frag Boy Stewie? I want to say. Anyways, I'm not going to get into any more. I can't find my man. I think it's Mr. Zay. It's either Mr. Zayas. I think it's Zayas. Yeah, sorry, not Zavas. It's Zayas. Show my man some love and get out there. And that's going to wrap it up for that. There's a really cool female reviewer. I think her name is Delicious something. She has a cute little iconic cartoon type character. At any rate, let me I'm not so sure, Mike. I think Lanier is starting to drop more. He's been doing some stuff with the Perfumista and stuff. I don't know. I hope he keeps dropping them quite regularly. I think he had a big personal project going on recently that maybe is what you're referring to, and that caused him to stop dropping regular fragrances. I could be wrong, but yeah. Anyways, I apologize. I've got to check my phone just for a millisecond. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, guys. Apologies for that. Sorry, so sorry. So sorry. Hopefully that will never happen again. That was a pretty important phone call. But let's get back to the sprays. Obviously, that's what you're here. And I've had this long, ridiculous preamble about other fragrance reviewers out there. Let's just get down to it. This is very fragrant, very floral. Definitely smells niche, no question, and it smells fairly quite expensive, if I'm honest. Tweak the cam. It smells like you're getting more than your money's worth, to be quite honest. I mean, this smells like it could go toe to toe with nearly anything out there at the niche level. I mean, just name your price, name your perfumer. This could at least all but hold its own and possibly come out on top against a lot of the more established fragrances or houses, if you will. When talking niche, of course. I do get the green apple, and as Mark Robzo8 on his channel mentioned, you get a sliced, fresh green apple accord or note. It smells a little bit juicy. It's definitely not overly dry. You also get rose right away. You get the rose, and the rose it's extremely realistic. It's extremely well done. If I have a tiny, well, let me finish the note breakdown before I get to that. The benzoin lends an amber type quality to the scent, and the cashmerean, guys, is very, very complex. It is not at all a linear one stop, one note accord type vehicle. It can do many things, and it does many different things. Even when you put it just in one perfume with one or two other molecular aroma chemicals or ingredients or scents, it can really kind of cover about 3 to 5 bases at the same time, which makes it incredibly versatile, and incredibly somewhat, I don't want to say incredibly problematic, but it can sometimes pull fragrances in directions that maybe you weren't expecting them to go or necessarily wanting them to go. But that's neither here nor there, because usually a lot of perfumers are going to end up throwing a floral component in, a suede or a leather accord in, and things of that nature. I'm not sure that real leather is in this fragrance or not. I'm starting to think that the cashmerean is covering the leather base, because the leather I get here is very much just sort of a gentle handbag leather, like think Chanel or Prada or Gucci. If you crack that, I'm not saying many guys, or you may not be around. I'm not saying I'm around purses a lot, but occasionally I have been. I've been known to sneak up and smell. I have female friends that have really nice purses. And occasionally I'll sneak up and, don't call me weird, but I'll crack the I'll crack the, if it's open, I'll just smell it. If it's not, I'll crack it open and kind of smell in there. And I just kind of want to smell the quality of the leather, see if it's waxy, more of a rawhide, or I just like leather. I like the way it smells. There's some of that in here, but it's quite conservative. It's dialed back quite a bit. I would have liked if the leather had been more prominent, and I would have liked a heavier, spicier. There is saffron here, and it does give a little bit of spice and a little bit of almost a slightly dry hay accord, but mixed with like musk, like very, very light musk. This ends up smelling quite a bit like Middle Eastern, but Middle Eastern for very much for the safe West. You know what I mean? Everything's sort of been pulled back and dialed down, so it's Western safe. You're not going to, and I mean, I mean no disrespect when I say this, but here in America and Canada, there's lots of jokes. I admit, ultimately, way not cool, but there's lots of jokes about walking into a convenience store or 7-Eleven or whatever, and it's almost always a Middle Eastern guy behind the counter, and you're just blasted into mañana with that Middle Eastern typical scent or accord. I wouldn't worry, Joe. I wasted the entire several minutes of the opening just with a huge, ridiculous preamble about all these other fragrance reviewers out there. Kind of like I was looking for a couple, and I would say stuff like, catch this guy, catch that guy, show him some love. You don't need to even waste time on that. Just, you caught me at the perfect time. Yeah, yeah. Again, I'm not at all trying to throw shade towards Middle Easterners at all. I'm not trying to. I love Middle Eastern scents. I love the Middle East. I love the whole world for that matter. So I'm not trying to throw shade at all or make fun of any segment of the population. I think a lot of their scents are glorious, but for many, they're just too strong and too pungent. And that's really my only takeaway that I want you to understand. Um, they're just overly pungent for the average Westerner. Now there are a lot of Westerners that are into perfume and niche fragrances, and they are more than there. They're all the way there. They're rocking ouds every day in the winter and fall, maybe even year round, and they're doing curry based type scents and strong ginger, musk, oud, vanilla, this all kinds of stuff. It's all good, but at any rate, back to this scent. For me, and please don't hate me when I say this. I know there's so many imaginary author fans that worship at the altar of imaginary authors. Um, um, for me, for my personal taste, this is a legitimately good scent, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's fantastic. Um, and I'll give you two tiny, but important, to me at least, reasons why. This is an excellent, very well done scent, and I'm sure it's going to please a lot of fans out there that like this genre of scents, no doubt. I think that for my taste, I prefer scents that are either I love chypris, and I love woody orientals, and I love interesting, heavy, dark noir type scents that have either like smoke, incense, oud, musk, juniper, ginger, whatever in there, and it can have a floral component. That's fine. Um, but this doesn't really fit my preferred lane, if that makes sense. I think the quality is there for sure. I think it smells fine. You're not going to really offend anyone with this. And then there's one other thing. I think this definitely skews feminine. I know it's unisex, and I'm down with that. I would say this probably skews about 60 to 70% feminine, and about 30 to 35, outer limit 40% masculine. Which is neither here nor there. But if you're a guy that maybe is very, very leery about rocking floral, fruity scents, this may not be for you. If you're too macho a guy, you're too hairy chested, and all you rock is musks and ouds and heavy traditional barbershop fragrances. Well, those are lighter, but you get my gist. Then this really, really may not be for you, the macho, hairy chested guy, but that's always been the case for rose based and floral based scents anyway. So that's not really anything new or unknown. It's an interesting scent. It's kind of cozy. I think it dies down a little bit about 15 to 30 minutes after application. I'm not saying it sits right on the skin, but it's a very, very cozy projection type scent. I think longevity is probably going to be really good, probably in the 8 to 10 hour range, at least on skin. I'm not saying active projection. I think active projection, you're not going to get much past an hour and a half to 2 hours max. And after that, people will smell it on you if it's a close encounter. But I don't think it's going to be projecting like an arm's length away, at least to not to my nose at any rate. So this is an interesting scent for sure. It's very well made. It's very well done. It's not totally for me, not totally in my wheelhouse, but Some of you out there are probably going to love it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying it's not what I'm personally into in a fragrance. And for those reasons, along with a couple others that I delineated earlier, I'm not giving this a strong recommendation. I'm giving it a recommendation with a big asterisk that if you like this genre and you don't have too many other frags that fit this area in your fragrance rotation, by all means, get a sample or a decant or just buy the whole bottle. You may love sort of these musky rose-based that have some fruity nuances, also a little hint of spice from the saffron and maybe one other accord. There's a leather accord in here. Again, it's very soft and it smells a little bit like an inside of a handbag. But that's just my honest to God take on this fragrance. I hope that I will, in fact, like some of the other fragrances in the house. Again, the short story collection is like this. I think it's maybe $35, $38. You can get it off Amazon amongst many other places, obviously. Comes with a really, these are not, by the way, these are not at all his entire lineup. He has several other fragrances since then that have been added to the house. But this is a nice 8-pack sampling to get your nose on the house. If you haven't smelled anything by Imaginary Authors, by all means, check out the house. I'm not at all trying to throw shade on the house of Imaginary Authors. This is quality juice. It does smell expensive. It does smell very, very well done and blended. At the end of the day, just not what I'm personally looking for. And I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Thanks for so much for joining me today on this Saturday afternoon. I wish you all the best. And again, a happy belated New Year for those of you that didn't catch my previous live cast or whatever. Spray often, spray well. Live life on your terms, guys, not someone else's. Keep smelling great. We'll see you next time. Peace out.